good? It's J-Bo Guns off in this thing, J-Bo Gold. It's the GunnLine, you dig? The GunnLine podcast, along with melanated earth frequencies. All right? We melanated on this earth, and we about them sign symbols and frequencies, okay? I'm going to have it on both pages. I just want to spread the word. I finally found a lot. I'm going to be reacting a lot today. I'm going to try to do about 10 videos, man. Between basketball, my cooking, and this type of information right here. Excuse me. Sip on that tea right quick. I feel like I can help a lot of people today by spreading these twins. What is this? Twins hangout in Kenya. Okay. I think that by looking at their reaction videos, because they break it down, man, and they're fair, they're honest, and they highly melanated, you know? And it ain't got to be disrespectful. It's just a little truth being told. And folks don't be wanting to hear none of that. You know, folks want to hear what they want to hear. But, man, things be changing when, you know, they start letting the cat out the bag. It started to change a little bit. You know, things change. And then people start to see what this is really truly made of. What's the actual goal here? What are you guys doing? Why do you not like us so much? Because, man, I do feel like if we got to a point where we were respected and treated equally, we would thrive. And our thriving ain't shitting on the next person. That's what y'all do. We don't shit on the next person. We actually, you know, uplift and bring about. So let's see what these girls talking about, man. Enough of me. Let's go on ahead and get in.
Thank you for setting me up to talk about this. I know that you and many other Black people know the answer, but it is something that I'm still processing, and it hits me really hard in the gut. And so I want people to understand that I am answering the question, what do I know? I'm not speaking for anyone. Many commenters today have pointed out how many affluent Black towns have been created and destroyed throughout United States history. And most non-Black people know about the Tulsa Massacre, Black Wall Street, Lake Lanier.
Of course.
But it was many Black towns.
Oh, it's way more.
One commenter said over 60. And it's not that some Black people sometimes were able to establish.
Okay, so she said over 60 different Black groups that got together and put things together so that we can feed and learn from our own people. When you got your own people, it's a lot more difficult to turn your back on them. For instance, if you see that kid stealing out the store and you're a police officer and he look like you and it reminds you of a younger version of you, you ain't just gonna take him to jail. You gonna give him a talk. Look, bruh, this ain't it, man. And maybe if you need some help, reach out to me. I can help you. I know people in certain places that can help you get some to where you want to go. Versus some man who knows nothing about you and just has fear because he's not in your race and didn't grow up how you grew up. They just gonna take your ass to jail and then put you through a system that's damn near impossible to get out. So this is what we've been struck with and hit with our entire lives. That's why they be like, why y'all so angry? This is why. Because we get this treatment and it keep going. And we keep seeing us take our, you know, our likeliness. Like they want to look like us. They want to do their hair like us or they want to dress like us. But then they don't like us. It's the weirdest shit ever. But let me let this lady keep on going. Hold on.
60. And it's not that some Black people sometimes were able to establish a successful community that accumulated wealth. It's that Black people were consistently able to go anywhere and together establish strong communities that accumulated wealth and had education systems and businesses and were thriving. And every time it happened, people destroyed them.
No. Say it what it is, sweetheart. Racist people. Say it what it is. It's okay. I understand. You ain't look like you ain't been around and you learning. So I ain't mad at you, man. At least you taking the time to learn. I appreciate that, you know, because most people just go off of what their parents told them and just live this, you know, because they benefit from it, you know. But for you to even just put your little time in, I respect it. Let's go.
And then as you progress through time, it becomes less acceptable to burn and flood and massacre entire towns. So again, you have the passing of the Civil Rights Act in 1964, and the United States opens the door to Asian immigration in 1965.
Yep.
The United States has a long history of using immigrants to get in the way of black people.
Yes. So I wasn't born in that. I mean, I'm an 80s baby, but damn, she just hit it on the head. She looks like she got a bit of Asian in her. So she talked about 1965 when they. So that's, yeah. So instead of giving, my people our reparations from what they did to us, they continuously just poop on us, fart us out. They don't care nothing about what we got going on. So they just, do us and kind of way. And then, like, I remember so vividly when I started seeing more and more Asians, in the hood. So you will have a mom and pop store that sell, something like This Is It, sell barbecue or something. And then a block down, you'll see a place that say Donnie's, Donnies, soul food. So you be like, oh, who the fuck is Donnie? Because, we could say that's one of us. That sound like one of our names a little bit, Donnie. Man, you walk in a place and ain't none but Asians. And when I tell you they got macaroni and cheese, they got gravy in the pork chops, they got mashed potatoes, they got collard greens, they got chicken, fried chicken. They got all the food that our grandparents and our grandmothers and grandfathers created to make, good meals for us. They got all that shit. And so wait, you mean to tell me not only did you come to America, but not only did they let y'all in America, but you came to America and then you stole the likeliness of the people that was already here, and then now you selling it back to us. Like, yo, it's a bit frustrating, but I'm not mad at you, sweetheart. I'm just going off of what you're telling us because you're right. And I'm going to let her keep going. Let's go.
And so I think that this system of using immigrant-owned businesses in black communities is designed to siphon wealth away from black communities. And another commenter asked me, why do I think that people are afraid of letting black people...
Hey, if y'all didn't see it, because, I'm going to put this on the podcast, too. She put her hand up because she really light. So she said white people. She said, why do you think... And she put her hand up.
Black communities.
Watch.
And another commenter asked me, why do I think that
white
people are afraid of letting black people build their communities and accumulate wealth and to thrive? And we see it so many times. It's because they fear revenge. Because they know...
Well, sweetheart, maybe it's not revenge. Maybe it's not even. We won't need them anymore. We never needed them. You see, once we start understanding how, you're supposed to move within a community or a society, once we understand that, well, we ain't got to go through all this foolishness that y'all feed us. The only reason that we foolish, the only reason that we even have a ghetto project, hood, the only reason we have any of that is because that's what was given to us. You see, we didn't create that. They put us in places by force and fear. And then and they don't want us to get out. They just rather us just die. And so that they can just but they need us for little things like survival. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't survive on Earth without the melanin. And you'll just keep dying out. That's why their numbers keep going up, because they're not using their cells. They're using all the foreigners they keep bringing into the country. All right, come on.
What they have done to black people. But again, we have been told that if black people wanted revenge, it would have happened already. That is not what they want. And I think that people think that the violence and exploitation and abuse of power that they have exacted upon black people and all black, brown, indigenous, and people of color is a universal human trait. And that if anybody has that wealth and power, then they would return that evil in kind. But it's not.
Right.
It is specific to, and all black people want is to be allowed to thrive and accumulate wealth and exist as other people have been allowed to do.
And so then, sweetheart, we have to ask you the real question is is the original question. What y'all so scared of? Not necessarily you. Although you keep holding your hand up to say white people, but it's not you. You're Asian, but you're a diluted. You're not a dark-skinned Asian. You're light. And I say diluted only in color and in the melanated pigmentation of your skin complexion, because the Asians are dark too, the Afro Asians. That we was that too as well. So you on down the line a little bit, but you feel like you know that it's something wrong. That's why you speaking on it, and it is wrong. But I'm here to ask you. Let's go back a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Let me see.
Anybody has that wealth and power, then they would return that evil in kind. But it's not.
Right.
It is specific.
Yes.
To
them people.
And
white folks,
all black people want is to be allowed to thrive and accumulate wealth and exist as other people have been allowed to do.
Right. So the reason that we are so upset, or the reason why we don't want to do their type of work or do their, because it's unnatural for us. You know what I'm saying? We're okay with getting in our yard, gardening, and eating our own foods and growing and barter system it. But, they had to take that away. They want us to go to their stores. They want us to go to their place. They want us to work in their stuff so that they can just, it's like, damn, you want to be able to, as far as they go, they want to be able to live a life where they can just collect and keep us down so that they can stay up. But my thing is, shit, man, even if you're up and doing your own thing, why do you have to bring that upon us to be a part of, the foolishness that you entail, that you bring up? Like, leave us be. Leave us be. Go on and do go on ahead and get on your yachts and all that stuff. Don't get mad when you see one of us with one. For what? What you upset for? Can't nobody live good? You know what I'm saying? Like, only you? Like, you created this heaven on earth for just you only? That means you the devil. Yeah, because now you shitting on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And when you see, like, when we went on ahead and agreed to this foolishness and to let you billionaire type mugs say that, we're going to create jobs for the rest of you, which you did not do, and we see what you're doing, it didn't work. This is why nobody like rich people, man, because they just are bullies. And you got to think somebody like Elon Musk, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to play the video some more, y'all. Hold on. One last point. Somebody like Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is billionaire status. He's got this bread. He's grew up. His family's always had it. He's always been involved some type of way. He did not grow up in no garage or like Bill Gates and all them. All their parents was big into NASA and stuff like that, right? So then you turn around, Elon. How do you know what it's like to come out the struggle? You don't care. You're like, man, the hell with them. They don't know anything. I know everything. You want it to go your way. It's in your mind. You think you know everything. When the real thing is, you're missing out on the key points, which come from people who have been through something, some type of struggle, some type of some type of discrimination, some type of, having to overcome. What you had to overcome, man? Nothing that money couldn't solve. You know what I'm saying? But when you ain't got no money, it's a little different. We had to overcome things where money shits on us, and we still got to survive through the cold. We got to survive through the seasons and not having, while other kids have. That's character built right there. Just buying your way across ain't nothing. You see? That's why y'all should have never gotten. They should have never we should have never agreed to it. We used to frown upon it, and then y'all figured out a way to let us agree on it, and here we are.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren and I'm Maureen.
What's up, Maureen?
In today's episode, you're going to be focusing on an Asian American creator who focuses her content on sensitizing her community and the community at large about the Black American history.
Right.
And on this platform, she debunks a lot of things. Amongst them, she talks about why white people fear Black people's success and how Asian Americans have always been used as a tool of weapon against Black America.
Yeah.
Right. So what's interesting about the video today is the comments she's going to be pinning in the video. So if you want to watch or read any of it, you can pause the video as it plays, right? So the comments she pins from palm-colored people who it's clear that they're being taught a different thing while growing up about Black people and how America came to existence. Right. And some of them cannot even digest that there are inventions in history that Black people were responsible for. But we don't want to talk a lot, guys. Let's just watch this video we put together for you, and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know your thoughts and opinion on the comment section, and also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
I'm subscribed.
And also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
Okay, let's go.
I find that a good way to help people who have a different lived experience than you exercise empathy for the struggles that you face that they may not be familiar with is to help them understand. And I was hoping that you could help me understand what anti-white racism looks like.
Okay.
Can you tell me about how you don't know where your ancestors came from because they were kidnapped and enslaved? Or how you don't know what languages they spoke, what spiritual practices they had, or what traditional knowledge that should have been your birthright was lost? Not because they were allowed to and wanted to assimilate, but because their enslavers or residential schools forced them to assimilate.
That's right.
Can you tell me about how your ancestors had explosives tied to them while they were building the United States railroads? And then as a show of appreciation, they were excluded from society for nearly 60 years?
Dang.
And could you tell me about the hundreds of towns that were destroyed, like the black towns and Chinatowns and Japan towns, all destroyed by the same demographic? Can you tell me about the children who were unalived because they whistled at a woman or because they floated in a lake a little too far past the segregation line?
Wow.
And can you tell me how it was for your parents and your grandparents to be United States citizens who were put in internment camps on United States soil? Can you tell me how it was for your family to live in the back of their store because people who look like you were not allowed to purchase or rent homes? And could you tell me how it was for your parents and for you to shed blood, to be treated as human, as equal, and to be allowed to simply share the same space as other people? Can you tell me about the conversations that you have to have with your children about police interactions? And could you tell me about how your mother and your sisters and your daughters are concerned about having children because of lack of equitable access to healthcare, because doctors were told that people who look like you can't feel pain? Can you tell me how it feels to know that your ancestors lived here for thousands of years, but when you try to come here, you and your children are put in cages? And can you tell me how it felt when a few years ago, the president entertained having people who look like you expelled from the country again? Can you tell me what anti-white racism looks like beyond having your feelings hurt, feeling uncomfortable, and having your sense of superiority challenged? And when you're done telling me what anti-white racism feels like for you, could you please tell me why you're not fighting to end racism for everybody?
Man.
Yes, this is really important.
Man, that was great. Damn, this is what we need. Thank you. What's your name? I'm Amy Chin. Amy Chin. I don't want to say it wrong, but man, this is what we need. Somebody, y'all see it? Y'all see how they do us, man? We don't be doing nothing but minding our business, trying to live in this weak system that destroys everybody except the people that they want in power. It's a nepotism / billionaire / it's all about money and going towards technology. They don't have the right people in power. They don't have the real people, the people that know the damn America or know, the struggle. They don't have them people in there, because if you know the struggle, then you understand what it took to get to somewhere, and you understand how to protect it, and you want to hold on and save it. What you have, that is. They don't know that. They just was born with money and lived it up and was able to fuck up and keep going, and you know what I'm saying? But somebody like this that's not American, or that has come from and been able to come to America and see how we're being treated all over the world, man, that is an eye-opener. Go ahead. Let's keep going, Amy Chin.
Americans were redlined from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because white people didn't want Asian Americans operating in their neighborhoods and didn't want Asian Americans profiting off of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in black communities, even though black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities.
Man, I'm telling you, I witnessed that. Like I said, the Asians was getting upwards of $500,000 to open up a liquor store. Man, Asians listen, let me tell you what they be in the hood with. They got the liquor stores, they got the weave, like all the shit they got to do with hair, things that we do. Asians don't cut hair. I've never seen an Asian person doing hair, ever. I've never seen a shop where there's nothing but Asians in there doing hair, cutting hair. I've seen them do nails. I give them that. I see the Asian folks doing nails. I see them doing that. I do, and I can say an Asian person, for the most part, they keep their nails done. I could give them that, but I'm telling you, I ain't never seen them cut no hair, put no weave in, or none of that stuff. But they got the clippers, they got the weaves, they got all that. They got loans that bring that stuff in and put it in our hood, because they're selling things that we buy. The liquor stores, They allowed to get in our hood with that. You can't go to white folk area when it just barely. It's hard as hell to find a liquor store in a white folk area. It's hard. It's like one every 10 to 20 miles. You gotta look, and the people that's in there that's selling the liquor is white. They not Asian. You gotta come to the hood, and then you'll see the Asians in the liquor store. Then they with the food again. Why ain't we getting them loans to cook our food for our people? Why we gotta eat their food? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, man. I love me some Chinese food, man. Y'all be doing the little thing, but I want to go get it. I don't want it to be here, and I don't have no choices but this. That's why I shop with the Jamaicans so much, because, I mean, shit, at least they making, I mean, I know they made their food. I mean, I really eat at home, but at the same time, you know, I like to eat their food, too. It make me feel more homely. You feel me? Seeing the people that's making it look like me. Man, you doing a great job. Keep going.
Obviously, the issue of Asian American-owned businesses operating in Black communities is a huge source of tension because it is part of the daily violence faced by Black people in their own communities when they are disrespected as customers, to the literal physical violence, as was the case of the salon in Brooklyn, where a Black woman was locked into the salon by workers while they beat her with broomsticks, to the damage done to the psyches of particularly Black children when they are accused of shoplifting. And this isn't a topic that I'm going to be able to cover in one video, but it is a conversation that I do want to start. I think that if you ask some people what was the source of the tension, they'll say the LA riots and what happened in Koreatown, but you cannot mention the LA riots without recognizing the unaliving of Latasha Harlins the year before. A 15-year-old girl who was unalived by an Asian shop owner who thought that she was shoplifting orange juice, but the money to pay for the orange juice was in her hand when she was unalived.
Yeah, so wait. So with that, like, what y'all gotta understand, what goes down with that? It's the whole perception that they put of us out there, right? You turn on the little cop show, what you see? Us running. You turn on the news, is they always posting our picture up with these bad looks. Oh, this person committed this crime. This person committed that crime. You know, they keep throwing us up there in an ugly light. Not showing they people doing the same stuff. Not showing them, just showing us. So it looks like we're the only ones committing crime. So then you get this perception, and you get these certain Asians or different groups of people from other countries that come here. They're already told before they come here. She hasn't mentioned it, but they've already been told. I've talked to plenty of people, even out of Africa, that are darker than I am, and they will say, man, yeah, they told us when we come here, don't talk to the Americans because we crazy. Like, damn, that's what they say about us? While y'all treating us like shit? Like, wow, man. That's like, they get briefed on this, y'all. They get briefed. They get told, hey, don't be messing with them. Them jokers crazy, man. They do this to you. They do that to you. Man, look.
And property over Black, the orange juice was her hand when she was unalived.
Yeah.
To overlook that is to value profit and property over Black bodies, which is at the root of the United States systemically racist system.
Well, that also, and just to treat us like we don't matter at all, just period. Like, oh, she had the money in her hand. Well, let's talk about something else. Like, nah, man. We're not finna just talk about something else.
Black bodies, which is at the root of the United States systemically racist system and capitalism. But I think that we have to go all the way back to the Civil Rights Amendment of 1964 and then the opening of Asian immigration in 1965. So in 1964, white power structure almost faced accountability to Black people. Black people should have started to be able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities.
Right.
But instead, in 1965, the United States opened the door to Asian immigration, and redlining meant that Asian Americans were receiving business loans, but only to open businesses in Black communities.
Look at that.
And Black people were still not receiving loans to open.
And we've been dealing with this still to this day, y'all. It's the effects are here. The effects that they did to us. I mean, look at our people, man. We're not as strong as we used to be. We don't stick together no more. We arguing with each other, shooting each other up. We fighting each other. I don't care. Like, I don't care if it's a debate. If it's a debate about who's the best basketball player, they got us fighting each other versus us going into, like, with the mindset of ownership. Like, well, damn, who's better? It's all of us as the product, so why don't we just create our own? Let's put our people in good positions. Let's put some programs together, get some little young boys in college and high school. Go ahead and start targeting the high school, middle school kids that, like the sport but may want to just be a part of it. And let's go ahead and start the business side of it. Let's get some lawyers. Let's get some, some people that understand business and marketing. And in the next 5 years, we'll have a whole team of young men that know how to run teams correctly, that know how to do these jobs the right way, so that not only will we be the product, but we will own it. Why they want to own us? Like, damn, y'all got y'all golf and jockey, polo, whatever the hell y'all do. Y'all got that. Don't nobody want to play y'all stuff. But why do y'all want to own us and our stuff? It's so annoying. Keep going, sweetheart.
This is in their own communities. So where you have this weaponized positionality of Asian Americans being put in Black people's way, of course you are going to have resentment not only over the supplanted opportunity to open businesses in their communities, but also over the fact that the Black dollar is now being paid out twice. Once when the customer pays for the goods or services, and then again when the Asian business owner removes that wealth from the Black community. And I frequently heard the tension being framed as mutual misunderstanding, where these Asian shop owners didn't know about the civil rights struggles of Black people, and Black people were not familiar with the culture of Asian business owners. But I don't think that it can be framed as mutual misunderstanding where there is an uneven power dynamic. You have one demographic that is the business owners, and you have the other demographic that is having to pay. So where there is uneven power, I don't think that it's accurate to frame it as mutual misunderstanding. So my ancestors were asked by white men to come to this country, which they had stolen and forced Black people to build, because they were hoping that my ancestors would be the new cheap and disposable labor to undercut the recently freed Black people that lazy white men didn't want to pay.
Stop! Damn, lady, you killing it. Y'all hear that? Good gosh moly. Hell, nigga, nah. Nigga, what the... y'all hear this? Man, we got to go back. We got to run that back. Hold on.
Stolen and forced Black people. Ancestors were asked by as mutual misunderstanding. So my ancestors were asked by white men to come to this country, which they had stolen and forced Black people to build.
Listen to that. Hey, man, y'all want to come to this country? Man, we stole it from these jokers, but we were so, deadly and rude and evil, man. We got them to rebuild the shit. And we ain't giving them nothing. Y'all want a piece of this?
Asked by white men to come to this country, which they had stolen and forced Black people to build, because they were hoping that my ancestors would be the new cheap and disposable labor to undercut the recently freed Black people that lazy white men didn't want to pay. And when my ancestors wouldn't do that, they were lynched and massacred, their towns were destroyed, they were blown up while building the railroads, and ultimately they were excluded from society in the country for nearly 60 years.
Okay, so there you go. There's one common denominator here, man, and they do it all over. You know what I'm saying? It's this evil within them, yo. I'm telling you. And don't get me twisted, dog. I got white friends, man. I do. I got some Caucasian friends. I got some Caucasian people that I actually can say I trust. But I tell you, man, it's only as far as you can trust them, though, because it's in them. I don't care what nobody say. It's in them. It is, man. They get mad. They can get mad all they want. Look at the results. We looking at it right now. Right now. Come on, man. Why is it the way it is? Everybody, at this point, we in 2025. In 2025, everybody should have at least, listen, what Nikola Tesla wanted, everybody should have. You should have a home, a self-sustainable home. You should have a vehicle to travel. And you should have land, what your home sit on. And that way you can live and sustain life. You can grow your own fruits. You can grow your food, whatever. You get your 7 acres. Everybody in America can have 7 acres right now. And I'm talking about children, everybody. You know what I'm saying? And you can grow that way. That way you're not so controlled and concentrated into one area where they can just bully you around. It's kind of hard to control people if every person is 7 acres away. That's hard to control. But you put everybody in one apartment building where they're mere feet away, hell, you can control them all. You just tell them they can't leave. And they be like, what you mean I can't leave, man? Boom, you control. But it's very difficult if you got to go 7 acres to tell everybody. You see what I'm saying? This is all about control.
Then when the United States asked us to come back in the 1960s because they wanted to put us in the way of black people again, and the United States needed to rehabilitate its reputation with Asian countries that were gaining in economic and political power. We had civil rights because of black people.
Yep. Wait, that's what everybody get their rights from. I don't care if it's, the LGBT community, they get their rights from us. I don't care if it's, Asians, they get their rights from us. Everybody get everything. Why? Yeah. Why don't y'all want us to come up? What y'all scared of? I mean, for real, like, what y'all got against us? That shit is annoying. What do you really have against us? Why don't y'all want to see us make it? And it ain't even got to be with the money and all this fake money and stuff. I'm just talking about prospering, man. You know what I'm saying? Not needing you. Why you want to rule over some damn body? Like, what in the hell is wrong with you?
We had civil rights because of black people. You're obviously not aware of this, but blessed is not a word that the global majority thinks of in association with Europeans. Words like plague and colonizer, maybe, but not blessed. And the cell phone in my hand came from China. So I don't know if you're referencing Steve Jobs or Martin Cooper or the Finnish inventor who created the first pocket-sized telecommunication device in 1917. And you probably don't know either because your education system has left you terribly ignorant and without the critical thinking skills necessary to effectively gather information. Because you believe that most great inventions can be attributed to one white person, as opposed to recognizing that the patent system is how white people colonize intellectual property. We would not have cell phones if it wasn't for the creation of the gamma electrical cell by black inventor Henry T. Sampson. And most of our cell phones would not have microphones in them if it wasn't for the particular microphone that was created by black inventor James Edward West. The creation of the first digital network, 1G, was launched in Japan, and then black electrical engineer Jesse Russell pioneered the creation of 2G, which launched in Finland first. 3G launched in Japan, 4G launched in Norway, 5G launched in South Korea, and 30% of the world's cell phones are manufactured in China. Because we of the global majority recognize that collective humanity has the ingenuity and creativity of one another to thank.
Right.
Whereas a lot of European Americans are laboring under the delusion that the rest of us have white people to thank.
Hold on.
And
had to go back a little bit.
the global majority
All right,
recognize.
Hold on, wait. Let's get control back. Because I was just going back at some of the stuff she said. She was talking about that. Let's go back. Let's just go back because what's going on is the commercial came on. So let me see. Here we go.
If it wasn't for the particular microphone that was created by black inventor James Edward West. The creation of the first digital network, 1G, was launched in Japan, and then black electrical engineer Jesse Russell pioneered the creation of 2G, which launched in Finland first. 3G launched in Japan, 4G launched in Norway, 5G launched in South Korea, and 30% of the world's cell phones are manufactured in China. Because we of the global majority recognize that collective humanity has the ingenuity and creativity of one another to thank. Whereas a lot of European Americans are laboring under the delusion that the rest of us have white people to thank. And it's this narcissistic ignorance that causes people like you to do embarrassing things, like leaving comments about Europeans and cell phones on a video about systemic anti-black racism in the United States. And while that could be written off as a comedic and senile non sequitur, we recognize it as a desperate attempt to center yourself in a conversation that has nothing to do with you.
Wow.
The irony being that white people like to say not all white people and they shouldn't be held accountable for the misdeeds of their ancestors, yet they want to be associated with the greatness of the things that they think they invented.
Man, that is such an easy one right there. You know what I'm saying? That's so dope. Like man, that's real. Yeah, you don't want to say, oh, that was my ancestors. I remember I was teaching, and one of the students didn't want to understand or recognize, Black History Month. And that student was like, man, this stuff happened so long ago. I mean, Abraham Lincoln is older than my grandpa. I was like, sure. Is your grandpa still alive? Because what do you know about Jim Crow? What do you know about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like breaking it down, and then that joke, they don't have nothing to say. But my whole point was go back and talk to your parents and then come back and talk to me because they going to tell you. And they know who I am and they got respect for me. So they ain't going to disrespect me. So let me hear what they got to say. Man, y'all will be surprised at how them jokers change their whole tone. They change their whole feeling I got nothing but apologies. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to own it. They admit it when they push to the fire, but they don't want to talk about what they got from, you know, being so disgusting to us. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to talk about that.
A conversation that has nothing to do with you. The irony being that white people like to say not all white people and they shouldn't be held accountable for the misdeeds of their ancestors, yet they want to be associated with the greatness of the things that they think they invented.
Good one. Good one. She's good. All right.
So,
she got some
John
more.
Michael Kohler was an American who invented the bathtub in 1883.
Okay.
But let's think about this critically. Do you really think that nobody took a bath until John Michael Kohler invented the bathtub in 1883?
Come on now.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, right?
No.
So what he was talking about is the fact that Africans introduced bathing and the concept of personal hygiene to Western Europe in order to build a healthier society during the 800-year occupation of Spain. In particular, a man by this name introduced the practices of bathing, shaving, and using toothpaste, as well as drastically improving the eating habits of Western Europeans. Additionally, the first recorded history of people taking baths was in India in 500 BC. A lot of us have gotten used to how little history some people like you know, particularly where it comes to anything not Eurocentric. However, I have a tip. Before you make a comment like this, do a quick Google search for whatever you think the topic at hand is. In this case, who invented bathing or who introduced bathing to Europe. And then decide whether you still want to make this comment.
Right. And you can even look like, I mean, it's out there. It's not being disrespectful at this point. It's me just showing y'all what's out there. And if you go, like, I'm going to do the video, I'm going to record, I'm going to do one, it's the same girls right here, the twins here, man, and how they brought up and spoke on how, you know, white folks didn't even like taking baths. They don't, to this day. They just rather use their hand and soap. They don't use rags. They don't wash their legs. I mean, it's just what they say. That's what they're saying. I'm just repeating it. It may sound disgusting to you because it sounded disgusting to me, but they would be like, man, if I jumped in a pool or a lake, they wouldn't have to take a bath for 2 and 3 days because they was preserved by the water or some crap. I'm like, yo, to this day, this is today. This isn't way back in, you know, this is today. All right, come on, what you got now?
Hey, buddy, your comment needs some help because when Dr. Earl Haas patented the tampon in 1931, idea from his friend,
All right, here we go.
Hey, buddy, your comment needs some help because when Dr. Earl Haas patented the tampon in 1931, he got the idea from his friend. She used a sponge because before this, women around the globe had been using tampons for thousands of years. There was a medical document that described the use of papyrus tampons that came from Egypt around the 15th century BCE. And I think what you meant to say was this modern nice world was made possible by labor and ideas stolen by white greedy bad men exploited for ruthless capitalism. Right. Because you are yet another narcissist who's been indoctrinated by the education system to lack the critical thinking skills to understand that patenting does not equal invention. Right. Patenting is the colonization of intellectual property because invention usually requires the collective efforts of a diverse group of people over time. As I tell my students when they're having difficulty learning something, try to be patient and don't be too hard on yourself. The ability to apply logical reasoning to historical fact isn't going to make sense to somebody who watches a video correcting an erroneous comment about the 1800s who responds with stay in the 21st century. But it's okay. We all have our strong suits. Being an ignorant bigot isn't mine and intelligence isn't yours. But I'm sure there are things that you're good at that you can focus on and celebrate. Right. And if you'd like to get better at being intelligent, again, be patient, practice every opportunity that you have, and I'm sure that you can improve. I hope that helps.
It helps.
Important facets of my personality include kindness and empathy and the courage to speak up against wrongdoing, which is why I spend a lot of time advocating for dismantling white culture and explaining the history of current forms of systemic oppression. Right. And my original intent was to encourage Asian Americans to engage in anti-racist work and to unlearn anti-Black bias. But who knew? There are so many narcissistic white people who show up to center themselves in conversations that don't have to have anything to do with them unless they identify with race, white supremacy, culture and upholding forms of systemic oppression.
Right.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the video you just played in the comment section, yeah?
Hey, y'all, that was a lot. Y'all put all that together on TikTok. That's cool. That was a lot to be said in such a, little bit of time, because it's so deep how, we want to set up and act like none of that stuff really exists, but it's right there in your face. You can't get away from it. It's right there. You can't get away from it. And I know y'all about to do y'all little speak on it. Let me let y'all go on ahead.
No, one thing I have to say is that it takes a special kind of strong people for them to rise above the kind of treatment Black Americans have been going through, and for them to try and make something out of themselves, despite the fact that there's a kind of system that has been built to always ensure that they're kept down, Right. And this is not the first time we are featuring Amy's work on our channel. So for those who want to go check out her TikTok page, she's called Amy Chan, right? She usually says in her videos, right, behind closed doors, how Asians were brought up. They were brought up to think that Black people were criminals and Black people were dangerous and demons on earth. The worst person you can ever meet is a Black person. And this was until she started going to school, and the school she was going, it was majority white people, but there were also Black people in the school, and her best friend was a Black person, and she was undergoing bullying from the white people that her mom was telling her to align herself with. And the Black people, she found that the Black people were the ones who showed her compassion. Yeah. But the white students were the ones who kept on bullying her for being Chinese. Right. And this is how her perspective of Black people changed. Right. And now she's trying to also educate white people on this matter. And one thing that she said that really got me interested was of a person here who was saying that also palm-colored people experience racism, right? And she was trying to debunk this theory. Yeah, and in her opinion, she said that palm-colored people cannot face racism the same way the Black community does. And she cited a very good example, Maren. She said that the Black community, and we've made these videos on TikTok of Black content creators speaking about this, right? And she said that from a very young age, Black parents have to teach their children how to handle themselves when they meet the police. And she posed this question to the palm-colored person who left a message on her video. She asked, has your parents ever had to sit you down to explain to you how to handle yourself should you ever encounter a policeman? Another point she brought across was that she said the idea that they normally drill into other people that Black people do not feel pain, So, and I'm like, it all makes sense, because how do you expect to do everything that you've been doing to the Black community in America because they believe Black people do not feel pain. And this explains a lot of things, because through the interactions we've had with you from our previous episodes, there are people who are telling us that in America, we did the mortality rate of Black women when they are going to give birth in hospitals in America. And most of them in our comment section, they said that some women they know, or someone related to them, or even them themselves, if you're a woman, when they are going to give birth, they don't normally administer pain medications because they believe Black women should be strong, you understand? Because that is what has been drilled in them, And on the point that you said before you go on, this behavior hasn't really changed much, because if you see even in the slavery era, the doctors who are advancing medicine, the studies they carry out on Black people, Black women, they do it without giving anesthesia to the Black women and men they were studying. Right. Another point I want to debunk is that when Amy mentioned about how Chinese were used as a weapon against, and still are being used as a weapon against the Black community, and she talked about how Chinese Americans, when they go to get loans, they are normally given loans to go start businesses in Black neighborhoods. Right. But the difference comes in when Chinese Americans want to start business in white neighborhoods. That is where they draw the line, because they don't want want them benefiting from the white dollar. But if it's them getting loans to go, they're encouraged to go open shops in black neighborhoods and benefit from the black neighborhoods, creating profit there. You see.
So just so y'all know, twins, look, yes, that's correct. I witnessed it. We all know who here in America, in the hood, in all the black neighborhoods, the black areas, the highly melanated areas. Oh yeah, they don't just send the Asians, they send the Arabs, they send everybody. Shit, the gas stations don't have. I remember when gas stations in our hood had us in there. Not anymore. It's always some type of Arab dude. You know what I'm saying? Some type of Pakistan, Palestine. I don't know. I don't want to disrespect them, but somebody from over there, Middle Eastern type shit. You feel me? But it ain't none of that. Ain't us. It's not us. They all look at us with a different look. They have to, because they don't know us. So they look at us like they're fearful of us. They're scared. They do that shit, man. This is real. This is real. Asians, like I say, with their hair, the weave, they got the nail shops, then they got the liquor. You know what I'm saying? And of course they got Chinese food. But hell, if I want some Chinese food, I should be able to go to the Chinese area. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be in my area, because, y'all don't know us. You don't know how we feel. You don't know how we think. You don't know how we move. So if one of us do something that rub you the wrong way, you're going to sit around and be scared and then do what you did to the young lady they mentioned earlier, which is unalive her for her just having the money in her hand, but you went on ahead and took her out the game. You see what I'm saying?
Then you look at a situation where Chinese stores are disrespecting black people, yet they are gaining from them making money out of black Americans, And this reminds me of an incident that happened even here in Africa. It's like Chinese don't respect black people anywhere, because it reminds me of another episode we covered of a brother who moved to South Africa from the US, right? And he went into this Chinese store where he faced racism from that Chinese person because it was in the Chinese had opened a store in a white neighborhood in South Africa, yeah? So when a white person came in, he was treated very well, even told to have a nice day, yeah? But this black American guy, when he went into that store, obviously he faced racism from that Chinese person, and he was even told to go back to America, So you can imagine, if historically Chinese people were used to disrespecting black people, what will make them change now? I feel like the information is out there for whoever wants to educate themselves, because someone like Amy Chen did not become that person just out of nowhere. A lot of work had to be done, a lot of research. Educate yourself. I believe that information is out there for whoever wants to. It doesn't cost anything for you to treat anybody with dignity. When I look at this situation and the fact that other groups are being given loans to start businesses in black community, but black people, I feel like this screams sabotage for the black community, And one thing Amy asked was that, why are white people very scared of black success? Because you can look at the history of anything black thriving, they come and destroy, So why are they scared of black success? And I feel like partly it's because, I feel like where the power exists, then those people are doing well. When you look at the societal structure, if these people do well in a certain society, it means they're going to get that power.
And they will stop depending on the system, the very racist system, They will stop depending on...
Well, twins, I ask y'all, what's wrong with stop believing in the system that don't work for us? We shouldn't believe in it. I feel like we need to let them go. Let them go their own way. We shouldn't believe in their system. We shouldn't, mess around with them. We should let them go. Just period. Because look what it's doing to us.
Government, and when they stop depending on the government, they stop needing the government.
Right.
And then they will be the ones to rewrite policies and laws if that power shifts. So another thing I wanted to ask is, if white people fear retaliation from the black community, which Amy also asked, and they feel like it's a very valid question, if black people wanted revenge, why has it not happened already?
Right.
You understand? If they wanted,
Come on, we don't need money to do revenge.
If what white people fear is that the black community is gonna retaliate and give them the exact same treatment they're giving the black community in the exact same fashion, and that is why they keep oppressing them. But why has it not happened? I feel like it's because I don't mean to speak for anybody, but I do feel like black people, melanated people, they really genuinely do have good hearts, and over and above, all they ask for is fair dealings when it comes to job opportunities. Just a fair platform. You know how white people are treated, they should also treat black people the same. If white people are getting these opportunities, if Chinese people are getting these opportunities, the black community should be able to get the same without being faced with hurdles that have been kept there purposefully to put them down. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So if they were to retaliate, it would have already happened a long time ago. But all they want is just a fair platform for them to thrive, just like other communities. You know.
So guys, a lot was said in her videos, so I don't know what you guys think about it. You can leave it on the comment section, and for those who are new to our platform, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Hey, great video, y'all. I'm gonna go through a few. I want to react to a few things today, so I'm gonna go through there and get that on. But great video. Make sure y'all go and follow these girls. The twins hang out. I guess that's what they saying. The twins hang out, Kenya. Make sure you follow them. My show is the GunnLine podcast. Also, Melanated Earth Frequencies. I'm gonna put them all in the description, so you can go on and follow us all. And let's get this knowledge out here, man. Let's get it spread out as much as we can, man. It's all love and creating and being honest, man, and sharing this stuff so that it ain't just them looking, we looking crazy at each other. Nah, man, we got you on tape saying what you say and feeling how you feel. The next one I'm about to do, y'all, let's see what I'm talking about. So, man, hey, that's a wrap for that one, man. GunnLine Podcast, and I'm out this thing. Peace.